Well, I originally came to Lancaster in 1988, which seems like quite a long time ago now, and I went to Lancaster University, and I got a degree in psychology, but I wanted to stay in Lancaster, and I hadn't really finished being a student, I think, at that time, in 1991, so I wanted to stay in Lancaster, and I needed to make some money to live. So I had a few ideas, and the one that stuck was printing. I don't think I was ever particularly that academic, and I didn't want to pursue an academic career, so I wanted to do something more practical, pretty much self-taught. I'd looked around the university, and a lot of students and clubs and things were getting printed t-shirts and sweatshirts and that sort of thing, so I thought, well, there's probably a market there, and I'll do that. So I set up doing mainly t-shirts at the beginning. Well, it's quite creative, and it's also about fulfilling people's needs. You know, if people have a problem and they need something doing, they might have a business idea, or they might have an event that they're promoting. So we basically help that all happen, and it's very different. It's different every day. You never know what you're going to get. Well, it's a very nice place. It is a city, but it's got a sort of a small town feel to it. There's a lot of independent business in Lancaster. There's a lot of people that set things up. They don't all survive, but you know, people are quite creative, and it's quite a sort of earthy community, and they do have a chance to get going, and you see a lot of diversity and that sort of thing. There's not a lot of big industry. The university's the biggest employer. Well, I think people come to us or somewhere local when they want to have a discussion about the product. They don't necessarily know what they want to buy. They want more of maybe some advice, so what would be the best product. Say, well, I've got this amount of budget, what could I get for it, what would you recommend? That sort of thing. Or they might want this, might be as simple as, you know, what size is medium, you know. And people also sometimes think that a big national company is going to be cheaper than a small local company. That's not always the case. Sometimes the reverse is the case. You might want to haggle and say, well, look, I found this price online. Can you do it? Can you beat that price? And sometimes I say, no chance. But a lot of the time we can. We like to think we're kind of a small, friendly team, and you know, we're nice to people, I think. I mean, everyone compares Lancaster to York, and York has done a lot better in that respect, to be on the kind of city break tourist route. And I think the linchpin for that will be Lancaster Castle. And as soon as they make that a lot more accessible and more going on in that area, then that'll be the key thing that then draws other businesses of that nature. The biggest piece of advice would probably be to try and live within your means and be positive. If you're positive, then you exude that positivity and you get it back. And if you live within your means, you might, if you're very lucky, have some money in the bank. And that's a good place to start, I think. I think if I went back to see myself and just looked myself in the face, I'd just say, what were you thinking? Why didn't you get a 9-to-5 job in university? I think sometimes you need to try and take a step back and have a bit more time for yourself, probably, and your family, and perhaps, you know, should talk to your family a bit more.
Thanks a lot, Alex.
No problem, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. Probably won't believe this, but when I started up my business, I didn't even have a computer. I used to use Letraset, which is a little sort of rub-on letters, and you line them all up in a row. And technology has gone on in leaps and bounds. Sometimes it's counterproductive because people think everything is very immediate, which it isn't always. Some things are quick and some things aren't. People think everything's quick. I got into started off with things like mugs and pens, because people would say, oh, I love these t-shirts, can you also do my print on a mug? And then I'd say, yes. Always say yes, and then worry about it afterwards.